Continuing from the previous episode 2400. Strange. This Xiaoyan's aura doesn't seem right. Looking at the scene in front of them, the Thorn Devil Boy and Hua Qianqin looked at each other, and then spoke in unison. The two have more or less competed with Xiaoyan. Xiaoyan's aura and attack methods are absolutely different from today, and this guy has a strange appearance. Go! You mustn't let them get there first. Seeing that Xiaoyan took the lead to stop the two tyrannical powerhouses, some other ambitious guys surging together, strayed directly from the edge of the flame vortex. If you want to break through the edge of the flame vortex and step into the depths to harvest the source of the soul, it is obvious that an extremely fierce contest is required. Damn it! There are so many strong people in this medicine pill association. Xu Mo, Bai Wang Yuan, do it and stop them together. As long as they are completely intercepted or killed, the source of the soul can fall into our hands. The sound fell, and on the horizon of the Ash Fire Realm, one after another fierce confrontation, accompanied by one after another roaring energy ripples, started completely. Xiaoyan, Hua Qianqin and the Thorn's Devil Boy were blocked by Xiaoyan, feeling the rising evil aura in Xiaoyan's body, and immediately asked aloud. Kill! Evil Xiaoyan ignored the two at all, raised his palm slightly, and a black flame emerged. The fierce killing intent made the expressions of the two of them extremely solemn. What kind of flame is this? Such a strange power. What about the holy flame power in his body? Seeing the strange behavior of the evil Xiaoyan, the eyes of the Thorn's demon pupil shrank slightly. Die! Raising the palm of his hand, those black flames actually created a rather complicated pattern in a strange way. With the power of Xiaoyan's fighting formation master, the sinister killing intent made people feel depressed. After a while, Xiaoyan raised his hand and dropped his hand, and a huge black flame giant hammer condensed by black flames, blessed by the array pattern, slapped the two Hua Qianqin away with one hammer. The void collapses and twists, suffocating. Boom! The seemingly simple hammer contained too much evil and strange power. Although it didn't hit the two of them, a crack in the void of 100 meters in size was smashed out by the two of them. On the edge of the void crack, there are still bursts of black evil flames, caused by the eyes. Those black flames beat, actually causing everyone's hearts to have a touch of depression. I can't keep my hands, let's knock him unconscious first. Obviously, after the previous contests, a kind of heroic sympathy was formed between the three of them. Hua Qianqin and the Thorn Demon Boy looked at each other and said in unison. Flower magic skill, the voice of 10,000 flowers. The whole body of Hua Qianqin has a strange fragrance that spreads, and it turned into a multicolored sound wave, centered on her delicate body, and completely spread out. The terrifying power and the refreshing fragrance are like tempting and deadly poisons, carrying the violent force of destruction, and crawls out. Tear off. The power of the sacred and pure Huayin permeated the air, which actually caused the evil Xiaoyan's complexion to move slightly, and even the giant black flame hammer in his hand trembled slightly. Cage of Thorns, endless suppression. Although the Thorn Demon Boy didn't know what was going on, but watching this scene, his palms rose up, directly forming some complex handprints. The void all over his body collapsed at the same time, and the strange and eerie thorn demon vines gushed out, as if the airtight sky the net is generally bound to Xiaoyan. Evil Xiaoyan was restrained by such an attack, but there was no displeasure at all, just a strange arc formed at the corner of his mouth, and the giant black flame hammer shattered, turning into a tide of evil energy and spreading away. Peeved. Although Hua Qianqin and the Thorn Demon Boy had extraordinary strength, they just launched a powerful attack and were hit by Xiaoyan's attack before they could catch their breath, and a mouthful of blood dripped down the corner of their mouth uncontrollably. Suffering such an injury to her body, Hua Qianqin tried to get up and chase, but found that there was a rather pure soul power in her body. This kind of thing is obviously not innate, but foreign. Is this accompanied by the energy ripples created by the evil Xiaoyan's black flame hammer just now? The energy in the soul light group is very weak, but it seems to have some information recorded. Xianwei, faint. There were only 4 words in the soul light group, but Hua Qianqin, who had always been smart, noticed something, and his eyes wandered back and forth on the evil Xiaoyan. Evil Xiaoyan took advantage of Mingfeng's absent-minded moment, and immediately nodded to him. Damn it, try. Naturally, the Thorn's Devil Boy didn't know. he got up immediately, and more eerie and terrifying devils appeared all over his body, trying to launch a more terrifying offensive against the evil Xiao Yan. Go! Hua Qianqin wiped away the blood from the corner of her mouth, then looked at Xiao Yan with resentment, and after a while, she roared at the thorn demon boy. Xiao Yan, hurry up and retrieve the source of the soul. Ming Feng and others were also entangled. In order not to reveal too many methods and details, they could only use part of their power. Seeing Xiao Yan defeated two extremely difficult opponents so easily, he was immediately overjoyed. Yes! Evil Xiao Yan looked at Hua Qianqin, who was escaping quickly, and immediately swept towards the depths of the flame vortex. There, it is the place where the ancient giant beast is bound by the mysterious chicken, and it is also the place where the source of the soul exists. Is this the spirit-eyed chicken? The evil Xiao Yan was extremely fast, breaking through everyone's defensive line in the blink of an eye, and was extremely close to the ancient beast. The touched body seemed to be pulled, and it shook slowly. And just when the evil Xiao Yan was about to take action to take away the divine source of his soul, this ancient beast suddenly opened his eyes. A pair of cyan spiritual eyes, as if crossing the gap between time and space, directly collided with Xiao Yan. Buzz! The two looked at each other, but Xiao Yan's head shook violently, and a violent and unpredictable mystery surged out of his heart, even trying to replace Xiao Yan's rationality. Not good. Ming Feng, who was fighting fiercely with others in the distance, watched the evil ripples in Xiao Yan's eyes slowly disappear, turned towards a scarlet murderous aura, and immediately black chi surged throughout his body, directly knocking him back. The opponent blasted away at the spiritual eye black chicken. After finally controlling Xiao Yan, if the spirit eye Xuanji destroys his good deeds, then it will be. Hey, Mingfeng, let's come up with some real learning. Just as Ming Feng was about to forcibly leave the battlefield, those tyrannical alchemists intercepted the latter. Xiao Yan, ***, the source of the soul for me. The whistling sound sounded, and the three black shadows broke through the interception of the crowd at the same time, and they went away to the spiritual eye black chicken together, but no matter how tyrannical their attacks were, they were intercepted by those tyrannical alchemists for a while. A strong man who can enter the vortex of flames to ***, the source of the soul, isn't it a simple generation? What a terrifying ancient beast! Xiao Yan's spiritual sense was slightly shocked. If it wasn't for his half-step immortal wandering realm, the terrifying glance of the ancient behemoth just now would be enough to make him completely lose his mind. Continuing from the previous episode 2401, Ho ho ho! The confrontation of one after another hot flame and violent energy, constantly entrenched on the edge of the flame vortex, the void twisted and trembled, and there were traces of collapse at any time. As for Xiao Yan and the two figures with strange shapes, they were the first to break through the crowd's interception and poured into the vortex of flames, heading towards the source of the soul. Wang Buzz! Evil Xiao Yan forcibly restrained the dizziness in his mind, and immediately stayed several hundred meters away from the spiritual eye black chicken. This kind of ancient creature, if it is considered dangerous by light, is probably no less than some reincarnation-level powerhouses that are comparable to the third-level human beings. What are you waiting for? Hurry up! An irresistible demonic sound echoed in Xiao Yan's mind, and suddenly there was a faint trace of leading Xiao Yan. Evil Xiao Yan did not act rashly. The evil black flames poured out of his eyes, and he quietly looked at the two figures that were swept away by the spiritual eye black chicken body. Those black flames were naturally the evil power that Bai Wang Mingfeng used to control Xiao Yan. Although it was not comparable to the holy flame, the power contained in it really moved Xiao Yan. Shabu shabu! The bodies of the two shadows shook violently, and when they approached the body of the ancient behemoth a few meters, it seemed to be ejected by some strange force. Hateful! Although their bodies were shot backwards, their eyes were still relentlessly looking at Spirit Eye Xuanji. Especially the drop of transparent liquid standing on the black rooster's crown. The transparent liquid is very small, but if you look closely, it is not difficult to find the soul fluctuations contained in it, which vaguely surpass the soul level in all the alchemists present. That is the soul power of Shen Yuzhing. A drop of soul divine source. You guys, back off. Evil Xiao Yan waved his sleeves, and countless evil black flames poured out of his body, and immediately formed a flamestorm at the body of Spirit Eye Blackbird. What an evil wave! Hua Qianqin, who had fled from the scene in the distance, and the Thorn Demon Boy looked at each other. Obviously they understood Xiao Yan's intention at this time, but they did not expose it. Wang Buzz. The two were stopped and could not break through the shackles of the black flamestorm for a while. In the entire flame vortex, countless pairs of eyes were watching Xiao Yan tightly. Ha ha ha! Go ahead! Bai Wang Mingfeng couldn't help laughing when he saw the evil Xiao Yan's aggressive methods. You bastards! On the opposite side of Bai Wang Mingfeng is a handsome woman with red hair. At this time, a flame-red braid in the woman's hand is blooming in a very dangerous arc. Whoa! With the protection of the black flame storm, an evil cloud suddenly appeared under the feet of the evil Xiao Yan, and directly led Xiao Yan to shoot at the crown of his head. Breakthrough. The crisp sound of asterisk crowing sounded, and the sound so close at hand actually caused the evil power in Xiao Yan's body to quickly subside. I can't completely expel the evil forces. Evil Xiao Yan gritted his teeth, and then leapt over the body of the giant beast and came under it. Looking at the feathers and body of this spiritual-eyed black chicken up close, a sense of insignificance arises spontaneously. Peeved. Just as Xiao Yan was about to arrive at the place where the source of the soul was preserved, there was a trace of contempt in the eyes of the spiritual eye, Xuanji, which was covered in dust for countless years, carrying a wave of extremely vicissitudes of life, and quietly stretched out. That's Spirit Eye? The evil Xiao Yan was greatly shocked, and the power of his soul poured out uncontrollably to shelter Xiao Yan, as if those eyes were filled with extremely terrifying fluctuations. Don't look it in the eyes. Although they were separated by a kilometer, everyone in the vortex of flames could clearly see that the pair of wings of the spiritual eye black chicken were covered with dense compound eyes. Those compound eyes looked like some kind of powerful creature's gaze, which actually caused them all to be in a trance, and a strong unease spread from the bottom of their hearts. After the spirit-eyed mysterious bird woke up, it stretched out its wings and flirted with contempt, and the atmosphere in the entire vortex of flames suddenly became strange. Protect my lord. Kill. Immediately, some powerful pharmacists with decent strength actually reflected the silhouette of the mysterious black chicken in their eyes. Their eyes were extremely pious and hot, and their killing power was particularly tyrannical. This is troublesome. Bai Wang Mingfeng and the others looked at each other, obviously not expecting things to go to this stage. Xiao Yan, use all your strength to obtain the source of the soul. It is not advisable to stay here for a long time. Bai Wang Mingfeng roared at the evil Xiao Yan in the distance, and the original melee suddenly became a common enemy at this time. Because those powerhouses who are under the control of the mysterious black chicken have greatly improved in both strength and attack power. If they do not join hands, I am afraid the ending will be easy. Okay. Evil Xiao Yan tried his best to keep silent, and as Mingfeng's voice fell, he suddenly nodded solemnly. With the power of Xiao Yan today, even this spirit-eyed black chicken in its heyday is enough to fight. However, in order not to reveal his own plans and goals, Xiao Yan could only be broken and obey Mingfeng's orders. The preciousness of a drop of soul source is indeed what Xiao Yan lacks today. If this drop of soul source is needed in exchange for their unreserved trust, the price is too huge. The most important thing, even now, Xiao Yan still doesn't know what purpose and plan of the foreign evil clan for Immortal Realm. Such a vague hand to send a drop of the soul source, anyone would feel heartache. Senior, is the source of the soul really going to fall into their hands? While there was still time, the evil Xiao Yan looked at the drop of soul source in front of him, and asked the spiritual consciousness in his body without giving up. Naturally, after all, I can't bear to have a child without a wolf. The spirit of the divine artifact is indifferent. Why, don't you give up? Actually, it's not impossible. As long as I do a little trick, I can naturally make them unable to absorb it, and maybe I can disguise a drop of soul source. Seeing Xiao Yan's lost expression, the spirit of divine artifact spoke directly. If that's the case, then I will trouble the seniors. After the spiritual communication was completed, the evil Xiao Yan's body flickered like a ghost beside the spiritual eye black chicken, and he even roared away at the spiritual source. Merely a second-level reincarnation human spirit eye Xuanji is extremely intelligent. Looking at the appearance of the evil Xiao Yan, he couldn't help but sneer, the huge wings and countless pairs of compound eyes slowly flickered. It turned out to be filled with a shocking and terrifying fluctuation. Crack! The void behind the head of the mysterious rooster was twisted, and a faint crack emerged. Immediately, a broad palm covered with evil patterns of black flames quietly probed. Not good. Little beast, this seed is going to kill you. The next moment, in the mouth of Lingmu Xuanji, an extremely angry low roar resounded through the entire void like thunder. With the closure of the void crack, the black flame storm disappeared without a trace in an instant, accompanied by the figure of the evil Xiao Yan, almost instantly fled towards the Ashfire realm. Then disappeared, and that drop of the extremely precious soul source. Continuing from the previous episode 2402. Boom! The roar of the spirit-eyed black chicken was like the angry roar of the gods, and it turned into waves of other people's magic sounds, deeply stinging all the powerhouses present. With its strength, none of the alchemists present could resist his coercion, but he was as arrogant as himself, and his soul source was taken away by a small double reincarnation human being. Xiao Yan's unexpected behavior was like a shame to him. The soul power in his body turned into a huge wave of murder, engulfing all living beings. Ha ha ha, that's it, let's go. Seeing that the evil Xiao Yan succeeded, the three Ming Feng laughed loudly, and the monstrous evil aura filled the air, turning into a black smoke and following him away. Now that the goal has been achieved, there is no need to stay here. After taking over the source of the soul from the evil Xiao Yan, he will find an exit and leave here. Everything is perfect. These nasty bastards actually took us as bait. Seeing that the source of the soul has been intercepted, the controlled guys in front of him and the spirit-eyed black chicken in a state of rage, a sense of imminent disaster appeared in the minds of these figures. Stop talking nonsense. Let's join forces. Otherwise, with so many people under control, coupled with the spirit-eyed black chicken in a state of rage, I'm afraid we have only one dead end. As for the guy who robbed the soul source, he is somewhat similar to Xiao Yan, the lord of the endless fire territory. We will definitely get this account back. Boom! In the vortex of flames, the boundless tides of soul and violent violence clashed and spread, and the entire area seemed extremely hot. The war is continuing. I wonder how many people can escape successfully this time? On the other side, on the edge of a crater with an extremely irregular site, four figures circled here again. Bai Wang Mingfeng, Xu Mo and Bai Wang Yuan. There is another person, the evil Xiao Yan, who has captured the source of the soul. Where is the source of the soul? The three of Mingfeng came here in a hurry, looked at the evil Xiao Yan who was in a state of embarrassment, and asked with slightly fiery eyes. Obviously, the reason why the evil Xiao Yan was able to easily capture the divine source of the soul was not accidental. Tick. Evil Xiao Yan raised his head, glanced at Mingfeng and the three, and then nodded. At the same time, the palm was raised, and a drop of almost transparent liquid like a drop of water slowly poured out. The source of the soul. Mingfeng's face showed surprise, and his eyes on Xiao Yan became quite satisfied. It really is the source of the soul. Bai Wang Yuan, who had always been skeptical of the evil Xiao Yan, also looked at Xiao Yan in surprise at this time. If Xiao Yan was controlled, why would he give away such a precious soul source? Now, what doubt do you have? Holding the source of the soul in his hand, carefully sensing the strong fluctuations that surpassed the heavens and the earth, the corners of Mingfeng's mouth rose, and he looked at the two behind him with a mocking expression. Master is wise. It was only at this moment that Bai Wang Yuan and Xu Mo put down all prejudice and guard against Xiao Yan. My lord, although things have already come to light, but I have a humble opinion. After thinking about it, Bai Wang Yuan spoke strangely. Say, Xiao Yan has a special status. It's a blessing to be under our control now, but for the sake of Yi Changming. Bai Wang Yuan smiled wickedly, obviously thinking of something. CC. Immediately, the execution ruler in the body of the evil Xiao Yan moved quietly, paving the way for a strong ancient aura. Let Xiao Yan leave now, and at the same time release the control over him. After the third stage of the medicine refining assessment is over, we will control it and let the people of the immortal world know about our plan. Otherwise, if I control Xiao Yan for a long time, I'm worried that the variables will be too large. Bai Wang Yuan looked crazy, and his voice was extremely hot when he said the last. Okay, Ming Feng was obviously not very human, so he immediately woke up because of Bai Wangyuan. Xiao Yan had different identities and possessed holy flames. If he kept control, there would inevitably be some flaws. Crack! With a bang, the three of them put away the soul source, released the control of the evil Xiao Yan, and condensed the evil black flame used to control Xiao Yan into a black bead, which was kept on Xiao Yan's body, but they did not know Xiao Yan. Carrying the devil's Rubik's Cube, this kind of thing can't cause any hindrance to Xiao Yan, and it can be completely crushed by waving it at will. Cece. Ow! After a long time, Xiao Yan opened his eyes with difficulty, only to find that he was lying on a fiery lava field. The hot temperature and the large and small scars on his body made Xiao Yan frown. Strange. I clearly remember that I entered the ash fire realm to find the source of my soul. Why am I here? Xiao Yan rubbed his head with difficulty, trying hard to recall but couldn't remember what happened. There should be no abnormality. Let's find the exit first. We want the victory of this second level. While Xiao Yan was recovering from his injuries, Ming Feng and the others did not feel relieved to hide and investigate for a while, and then they left after confirming that they were correct. HMPH. Pretending. But this time it seems worth it. Xiao Yan's eyes lit up with endless depth, and the aura of holy flame burst out. At the same time, there was a drop of colorless water on his palm that was exactly the same as before. The source of the soul. Senior, will this method of disguise be discovered? Carefully withdrew the source of the soul. Xiao Yan couldn't help asking aloud. Cut. Although I'm not the real spirit of the divine artifact, it's just a residual power, but the second divine artifact spirit, isn't that what these little shrimps can discover? The spirit of divine artifact rolled his eyes and despised Xiao Yan, making Xiao Yan quite depressed. Let's go. Find the exit, and the second level is over. Outside the territory, this time, I will definitely smash your plans. Xiao Yan rubbed his fists, and immediately got up and walked towards some faintly sensing ash fire realm. Guru, no way. Just came to a sparsely populated volcanic basin. The molten lava was rolling in the twisted crater, but there were murderous eyes staring at Xiao Yan. Kill. This guy is the culprit who took away the source of the soul. One after another, the voices full of killing intent sounded like thunder. Hey, when you were controlled before, it seemed that you offended a lot of people. The spirit of the divine artifact smiled as if watching a good show. It's really troublesome, but just relying on this number of people is not enough to cause any hindrance to me. Xiao Yan quietly stretched out his hands, and the glazed holy flame rippling through with a sacred aura. Strange, why is the aura in this guy's body different from before? The one he used before was clearly an evil black flame, but now the flame is a glazed color full of sacred aura. What on earth is it? In the crowd, those affected by Xiao Yan's attack stopped and looked at Xiao Yan with hostility. I am the Lord of Endless Fire Territory, the controller of Saint Flame, Xiao Yan. You are attacking me so indiscriminately, I think you are probably admitting the wrong person. Xiao Yan tried his best to make a puzzled expression, but he did not kill him. This exit, I'm afraid we still need to join hands. Let's join forces. Just when the swords were drawn, the beautiful figure of Hua Qianqin cut through the sky and swept away with a crisp Sanskrit sound. With the arrival of this figure, the lava in the crater tumbled violently, and a closed light mouth emerged. Is that the exit from the ash fire realm? Continuing from the previous episode 2403. This is... Xiao Yan looked at Hua Qianqin, who was approaching in front of him with some doubts. He clearly knew the ins and outs of the matter, but now he could only pretend to be crazy and foolish. This is the exit of the ash fire realm. It's also the final test of the second pass. After Hua Qianqin's beautiful eyes were looking forward to it, she looked like she was acting in concert, and a light voice sounded. She said slowly, "If that's the case, let's do it." As soon as the words fell, Xiao Yan and Hua Qianqin stood up together, turning into two rather colorful meteor shadows, pouring into the volcanic light mouth at the same time, and swept towards the exit. Peefed, just poured into the strange light mouth that stood above the crater, and a terrible burning sensation that shook the soul rushed to the face, making the expressions of the two people extremely distorted. Your situation. The terrifying power became more and more tyrannical, and Hua Qianqin asked secretly in an instant. With the protection of this power, naturally there is no need to worry about some other changes in Xiao Yan. I don't know the specific details, but, in the fairy world, I'm afraid something strange happened. In such a strange light, even Ming Feng and others' investigations slowed down. Xiao Yan just spoke slowly, but due to the curse of darkness, he couldn't reveal too much. The light in front of me. The next moment, Xiao Yan hurriedly changed the subject. It was reasonable to say too much without losing. The second stage of the Alchemy Pill Society, to put it bluntly, is to let us fight each other, obtain the spiritual source of the soul from the mysterious chicken, and finally find the exit and leave here. Hua Qianxin's beautiful eyes nodded, but when she mentioned the word, leave, a rare palpitation appeared in her heart. Boom! The molten lava flew, and dark red flames and lava roared from the volcanic world below. Looks like there's something in here. Wang buzz. Just as Xiao Yan finished speaking, in the flame and molten world below, a ferocious whistling sound seemed to emerge, hurriedly roaring at the crowd. Ash spirit? Xiao Yan, run away. Hua Qianxin turned her head and saw that it was an energy behemoth like a majestic mountain. The giant beast is carrying 4 limbs, stepping on the molten lava, but carrying a towering dark red lava mountain on its back. Turtle. Xiao Yan and Hua Qianxin dodged the latter's terrifying attack and immediately surrounded them one after the other. Tear off. There was an extremely complex flame pattern on Ember Spirit's forehead, and as it wriggled, the entire flame world became trembling. What is this beast doing? Xiao Yan squinted his eyes, layers of glazed flame halos rising like a scorching sun on his body, blooming with endless holiness. This guy should be the last test. It is also the guardian who guards the exit. After a long time, the alchemists who participated in the assessment poured in one after another, looking at the turtle-like flame creature below, and muttered. Peefed. As more and more alchemists gathered here, the flame creature that had been in a quiet state began to move its huge body little by little, slightly stirring the molten world below, as if it was building something. In the molten world below, the energy has begun to change? Just when everyone was helpless and looked at each other, the flames and molten lava below twisted like a vortex. Boom! The flame creatures swelled throughout the body, and after breathing, they turned into countless dust and ashes, permeating the entire flame world. The shocking flames and ashes scattered at will, and it turned out that the hearts of many strong people present were shaking violently. Xiao Yan, let's go. There are 3 exits in the ash fire realm, and this exit is probably fake. Seeing that the world of flames and molten lava has become indistinctly fragmented, Hua Qianxin couldn't help shaking her head. No, you see what that is? Just when a look of disappointment flashed in everyone's eyes, Xiao Yan's sight and perception penetrated through many obstacles and entered under the flames and lava. The huge body transformed by Ash Spirit turned out to be a flame gate that was dozens of feet in size, quietly emerging from the bottom of the flame world. That's the Ash Gate? As long as you step through this door of ashes, you can leave this damned ashes fire world. Come on. Originally, everyone had already left one after another, but after Xiao Yan made such a point, violent energy cries emerged one after another. Let's go. I'm afraid I still need you to cooperate with me in the next thing. Xiao Yan said lightly. If it's related to Immortal Realm, I'm naturally obliged, but I seem to have seen your figure a few times somewhere, but I can't remember it for a while now. Hua Qianxin nodded heavily, and seemed to sense some evil aura, so she could only shake her head and say after she breathed. Maybe, Xiao Yan was just taking the latter as some jokes. After all, how could Xiao Yan's figure and portrait be possessed by the dignified Immortal Realm? It seems that there is a portrait of this guy in the main room of Senior Sister. Is it a coincidence? When Xiao Yan stepped into the Gate of Ashes first, Hua Qianxin suddenly shook his head, got up together and blasted away at the Gate of Ashes. The Gate of Ashes is like an eternal door that is still in the void of the flame world. Whenever anyone tries to cross, they will be taken away by a chaotic force, obviously entering a special space. Crack! Xiao Yan's body touched the Gate of Ashes, and his body froze immediately, only to feel the world spinning for a while, and then the entire figure instantly disappeared in place. Although he was brought into some strange places by the power of chaos, with the power of Xiao Yan and the spirit of the artifact, he completely solved the predicament in a few minutes, successfully left the realm of ashes, and returned to the altar of the outside world. Shush. On the mountain altar, elders sat here to maintain the order of the competition, and even the countless powerhouses who were present gathered together to see the outcome of this competition. However, with the appearance of Xiao Yan and others, many onlookers who were present became restless. "Elder Yao, since all the staff have arrived, I'm afraid we can announce the results of the second round of the competition?" As Xiao Yan and others appeared, Bai Wangyuan stretched out his hand lazily in the three-person team headed by Ming Feng. However, there are nearly 100 pharmacists in this second level, but now there are very few who have successfully passed the level. "Elder, Yu reading link to youcanshu.com this." Some of the senior elders who were sitting beside Yao Wuchen had a slightly condensed expression, and immediately said hesitantly, "The power of this dark wind is strange, and every move in this second level is under the watchful eyes of everyone, somewhat. I announce that in the second round of the Alchemy Pill Guild, Human World Mingfeng won. 10 days later, the remaining 10 8th-rank pharmacists will compete in our Alchemy Temple headquarters. At the same time, in order to protect the safety of these 10 people, all relatives and friends will not be probed during the rest time, and they will be protected by us personally." Yao Wuchen is obviously also an old fox. Looking at Ming Feng's sarcastic face, he still said calmly. As soon as the words fell, the whole altar began to burst out with hot cheers. Whether it is the winner of the first or second level in the Alchemy Pill Society, they will be invited by countless tyrannical forces to lead to the level of the strong. Continuing from the previous episode 2404. After the end of the second stage, Xiao Yan had not had time to say hello to Zuner, and was taken away by the strong men of the Alchemy Temple alone, and was stationed in an unattended courtyard at the headquarters of the Alchemy Church. As for Zuner's anomaly, of course he didn't know anything about it. I don't know why, it seems that since coming to a mortal realm, the memory of Yunyun in my mind has become clear. Sitting in a pavilion in the courtyard, Xiao Yan couldn't help but recall with the help of the moonlight. The matter of the Warcraft Mountains in the Do-Chi continent, even now, is still vivid in my mind. Everything I experienced at that time is more or less fortunate and regretful when I think about it now. Little Dr. Immortal is in the demon world, and the matter has been dealt with. I don't know where Yunyun is now, and how is she doing? And Senior Zhu Kun and Zi Yan. Reaching out and rubbing his head, a rather complicated emotion flowed out. At the same time, in the Flower *** Palace not far from the gathering. "Yuner, are you still unwilling to be a teacher?" In a fairly clean wooden house, 2 beautiful figures stood in it at the same time. One of them looks like a middle-aged woman, dressed in a golden robe, with a graceful face, and an arrogance on her face, which makes people feel awe, but at this time she actually used a rather helpless tone to face the young woman in front of her spoke up. The woman wore a white dress, and the jet-black cyan silk was casually draped around her waist, which perfectly set off her graceful figure. The beautiful face and words and deeds are like the fairy of flowers in the valley that are not stained by the world, and they are indescribably beautiful and moving. "Teacher, Yuner has made up her mind, so don't interfere more. Your inheritance, Qianqin, should be more suitable than me." The woman shook her head gently and refused, but in the center of the wooden house hung a portrait of an inch by inch. In the portrait, there was a handsome man who seemed to be thin, with a heavy ruler on his back, which was extremely conspicuous. "You girl, you are born with such an indifferent temperament. It seems that there are very few things that can make you appear so panicked." The middle-aged woman shook her head gently, as if she had known it for a long time. These 2 people are naturally in the depths of the Flower God Palace in the Immortal Realm, the owner of the Flower God Palace, Hua Qinger, and the Yunyun that Xiao Yan has worked so hard to find. This guy, why does it look similar to the Lord of the Endless Fire Territory? Hua Qinger, the master of Huashan Palace, stared at the portrait behind Yunyun intently. "Teacher, watch out for your injury." Yunyun's expressionless pretty face was said so, and immediately bursts of crimson appeared, and she hurriedly scolded. "The power of the demon of darkness is too evil to be cured. Unless the Archangel of the Kingdom of Angels takes action, it cannot be cured." Hua Qinger could only shake her head and said, she naturally knew her injury. "Nonsense, teacher, you will definitely recover." There was a lingering sound, and calm was restored here. Squeak. On the other side, Xiao Yan was sitting alone in the pavilion. The moon was bright, but there was a faint sound of breaking wind from the air. "Who? Get out of here!" Xiao Yan was hurriedly startled, his face changed, and he said sternly. Being able to evade the detection of his soul enchantment and quietly pour into his own courtyard house, this kind of means and strength really made Xiao Yan break into a cold sweat. Involuntarily, Xiao Yan retracted the melancholy in his mind, got up and jumped into the courtyard high in the sky, trying to find the enemy. In the pavilion, a figure hidden in the darkness slowly emerged. After Xiao Yan fell, he slowly walked out of the darkness. At the same time, he reached out and took off his black robe, revealing a slightly dark old face. Senior Yao Wuchen? When Xiao Yan saw this face, he was slightly startled. Master Xiao is not only terrifying in his refining skills, but his strength and sense of smell are also unique. Yao Wuchen looked at Xiao Yan with a smile on his face. Senior is here today, probably for something. Xiao Yan's eyes moved, and what he was thinking before combining, suddenly thought of something. Really? But don't worry, the isolation protection here, unless the 4-layer reincarnation level powerhouse takes action, will not reveal any wind. Yao Wuchen broke Xiao Yan's scruples in one sentence. Senior, let's talk about the purpose of coming tonight. Listening to Yao Wuchen's affirmative words, Xiao Yan also laughed. That Ming Feng is probably not a normal human being. Yao Wuchen narrowed his eyes slightly, stared at Xiao Yan closely, trying to see through some of the latter's secrets, but he found out strangely that with his current strength and soul power, he could not see through Xiao Yan's details. If nothing else, those guys should be people from that place, but I don't know why they were able to escape the many severe inspections of the alchemy temple, and even participate in the alchemy pill club. At this moment, Xiao Yan asked in a deep voice. This is what Xiao Yan is most worried about. As for why they were able to evade our investigation, I'm afraid they have found a way to confuse the public. Without definite evidence, we can't bring them to justice, and they came so blatantly, I'm afraid the purpose will not be so simple. Yao Wuchen also shook his head. I hope that you will be able to win this time in the alchemy meeting. After a while, Yao Wuchen suddenly opened his mouth with a serious face, and in his voice there was an astonishing fluctuation that caused Xiao Yan to be in a trance. Senior, although I also want to win, the third test is probably not that simple. Let's not say that the 3 people of Mingfeng don't know the refining skills. In addition, there are the thorny devil boy in the devil world, Hua Qianqin from the Flower God Palace and others. These guys are not much inferior to me. Xiao Yan spread his hands, quite a sign of rejection. Maybe, however, at your age, there are very few strong people who can touch the soul power of the immortal ascension boundary. Yao Wuchen pointed out the key points directly. This old fox. When Xiao Yan heard the words, he couldn't help but cursed secretly. If I can win, I will naturally try my best, but I'm worried. Xiao Yan pouted, obviously still worried. If you win, those rewards are yours. Really step into the immortal ascension realm and advance to the 9th rank alchemist of the holy rank. Your future is limitless. Yao Wuchen suddenly started to guide, trying to hide from the sky. Senior, aren't those rewards the champion deserves? But if you fail, the title of the first alchemist in the fairyland will be acquired by those guys. That would be a shame for us alchemists. What's the matter with me? You. Who are you talking to? This is the purest holy source energy. With the 2 groups of holy source energy in your hand, it is enough to refine the elixir of the 8th rank heaven level peak. Yao Wuchen casually waved a trace of crystal clear energy drifted out, quite a refreshing pure power. If things really reach the point where you can't control, maybe you can try the 9th grade of the Holy Order. I hope this time the medicine pill meeting will be safe. Yao Wuchen's body merged into the darkness and disappeared here. Soul strength and refining technology are not enough, and we can only rely on the source of the Holy Spirit to make up for it. As long as you let me step into the immortal ascension realm, the 9th rank of the Holy Order, it will be a matter of course. While there is still time, why not? Xiao Yan smiled softly, and then a mysterious and complicated liquid appeared in the palm of his hand. After this thing appeared, Xiao Yan's 7th floor spiritual palace exuded an unparalleled enthusiasm and madness, as if the depleted river encountered countless turbulent surging waves. The waters of the sky are coming. However, in order to expose his plans and goals, Xiao Yan did not rush into it. Steal incense.